G'day guys, Grant from Four Wheeling in New South Wales. We're out here for the day with one of my old neighbours I grew up with as a kid, Carl.
How you going, Grant?
Good mate. And his weapon of a Jeep. So we thought we'd just do a bit of a walk around on it. We've done a few tracks, a bit of a steep hill over the back here which was pretty cool, and thought we'll just show a couple of bits and pieces he's done to it. So tell us all about the beast.
Well, I got it in 2014. It's a sport model, which usually comes with a 272 transfer case, and a 30 up front, which is a fairly small diff. And I wanted to do some of the more challenging tracks around. So to really step up and be able to build it up, I had to do a whole lot of different things at once. So to run 35-inch tyres with a 3.5-inch lift, I needed to change the whole front axle over. Yep. So that's now what's called a G2 front axle, which come with 456 gears. The rear is a 456 as well with chromoly axles. I'm running a front air locker, a rear E-locker. Obviously it's got the protection around, it's got the front, rear, side, underbody protection. Recently thrown in a 4-speed Atlas transfer case. Gives me ratios of 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 2.72 to 1, and then I multiply them for a 5.44 to 1, which you've seen how slow it can crawl.
It's crazy.
Yes. Underneath I'm running disconnected sway bars, so the quick disconnects, you literally pull a pin out. If you come through here, you'll actually see with this part here, I can just pull that out, move that out, come back and connect the sway bars for when I'm on the blacktop. So cool. The suspension that I'm running is a remote reservoir Fox shocks. They're adjustable, so I've got 8 series of adjustments through there. So when I'm doing really hard stuff, I just dial it down to change the rebound on it.
Yeah, okay. And you notice much difference in that?
Yeah, look, it's great. When I'm doing harden it right up for sort of travelling to and from this sort of place, and it just makes it, it's never going to drive like a car because it's a listed Jeep on 35s, but it makes it really pleasant to drive. The car's fully engineered with a GDM upgrade.
Well, I've seen that just before you get off those. I've seen those on a few vehicles, and you hear people talking about winding them up and down. So I always wondered if you'd actually notice much difference, or if it was a...
Yeah, you do. It tightens it up a bit, or makes it a bit softer. So I've added all the controls for the lockers on the A-pillar, which just make it, as I'm driving, it's a quick reach with one hand to be able to change it as I need to.
Yep.
If you go around the other side, you can actually see the gearing that...
Yeah, this is pretty cool. It did confuse me a bit, guys, when you hop in and there's 3 transfer sticks.
Yeah, so you've got high range and low range for the front and the rear. And then you've also got a planetary gearbox as well, so you can play around. I think I've worked out there's something like 66 different gear combinations that I could potentially do. When
we're in there before, coming up that rock hill, you're saying it's all in the one box, so it's...
Yeah, it's a single transfer case.
Yeah.
With this car as well, I wanted to start looking at doing some longer trips. So I had to make a few changes along the way there. I wanted to be able to drive a bit further. So I've put in a second fuel tank underneath, which is, it's called a Long Ranger.
Yeah, okay.
And if you come down, you can actually see it's this silver thing underneath there.
Yeah, okay.
And that comes with a 4mm bash plate underneath, so you've still got plenty of protection around for doing some of the more interesting tracks around.
Yeah, right. What sort of capacity does that?
That holds an extra 68 litres, so the main tank's 85. You're never going to get a full 85 plus. Plus another 68, so I can do, I don't know, probably here to Melbourne without an issue.
And this is a petrol too.
It is a petrol, 3.6 litre. Now in terms of the rear, underneath the drawers here, that's just a shelf that I made up that I put these ORS drawers in and had them made up for me, which are fantastic. Keep all my camping stuff in there. Yep. Underneath here, I've put in a unique deep battery tray where I've got a lead crystal 100 amp hour battery, which I like the technology there with a running a DC-DC charger. On the roof, I've actually got a solar panel which feeds straight into it as well.
I did see that.
So,
and that's, you've just mounted that?
Yeah, mounted that, fed it through on some glands, and then it feeds through to the DC-DC. Built up an accessories box there, so I can turn on some extra lights around and plug in any accessories that I want to around there.
Yeah, okay, so that's one of those little weatherproof boxes you see. I think they use those for phone, like on the outside of houses and stuff.
Look, I don't know. I just saw the box. It was the right size, and I thought, I'm going to get that.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to do on the front of the trailer.
Yeah, right.
So I can put some external power points. But it's just showing up the top there. So they're your wires coming in for your solar panel. Yep. So you didn't mind drilling through the roof?
No, look, it was fairly easy in using the glands. There's been absolutely no water ingress as well.
Yeah, right.
I run a ARB single compressor in the rear. I keep it up on top of the rear well, because if I did a really deep water crossing and I had some ingress in water, it just keeps it that little bit higher, so it's out of the way.
Yeah. It's good to see too. You got the fire extinguisher. Which
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't sort of think too much of, but it's worth it, especially when you're adding extra wiring into vehicles, and or even if you are out on a track somewhere and someone else comes in a bit of trouble, at least you've got
Actually,
it
the
there.
fire extinguisher was, I think, the first thing that I added to the car, purely for safety. It's always about safety first when you're out in the bush. I always have a first aid kit, all the recovery gear, all that sort of stuff. Even simple things like this I've added, which are just, it's a little tray, so you can prepare some basic food.
Yep. That's a unique brand.
Yeah.
Yep. People that might want to get one, because you see a lot of people making them up, but
there's a lot of different ones around there, but
I think often too someone's already doing one like that, and it's all done in a box. You buy it, you screw it on, and you're done. You're not trying to play around and make something up.
Yeah.
It's a good setup. You've got the awning off the side and a bit of lighting which you can plug through.
Yeah, I've got lighting for underneath the awning as well, which we'll be setting up tonight and enjoying. I'm running a Bush Ranger winch with your factor 55.
Oh, yep, the new style.
Yep.
They're becoming really popular now.
So this winch is the new one that ARB sells instead of the worn, or as well as the worn. Yep. Steady spotlights.
Rear bar, is that a unique?
That is as well, actually. Yeah.
That's a good solid thing, eh?
Look, a lot of people don't like the unique bars, but they're a good balance for me between weight and the quality of what they do. So you can get stronger, but the stronger are a lot heavier as well. So you really have to balance that out with a car, because Jeeps aren't, stock standard, I think the GVM is like 24 or 2800, I can't remember. I've added a fair bit of that. The upgrades that I've done. But
that's pretty thick though. That'll be a good 3 or 4 mil there. Yeah. That's nice and solid. Good recovery points on the back too. And you're obviously running 35s.
Yep.
Which is always makes the Jeep even more capable. But seeing out here today, like when you did that track this morning, that was crazy watching it come up through there. And even that, saying the gearing, guys, the lowest gear, the crawler gear, Carl showed me down the bottom here, and literally when you go down into that crawler gear, you honestly a 6-month-old baby would be able to crawl past the car faster. It was just insane how slow it is. And it is a manual too, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And look, a manual is one of those things that if I move into doing more touring, I think I'd rather a manual than an auto for the touring style of driving, because you don't need to have another starter motor or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, at least if you ever run your batteries flat too, you can at least jump start them, or clutch start, I should say. Yes. Whereas an auto, you're pretty well buggered. But no, I'm really impressed with it. Seeing it off road today, that's insanely capable. And even the white Jeep that's on the video as well, that's pretty well stock standard off the.
It's 2 weeks old,
yeah. 2 weeks old off the showroom floor, and seeing that get through, with the traction control and even pretty good flex out. You do get, people love Jeeps, people hate Jeeps, but they are a very capable vehicle, I think, off-road for
but it doesn't matter what you have as long as you get out.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's the biggest thing. Whether you can get into camp spots, even in a Corolla with a swag on the roof racks, as long as you're getting out and enjoying it. Spots like this, we haven't actually been up here. This is Trig Point, and there's a beautiful big lookout out over the back here. So it'll be a top camping spot for you tonight. A little bit jealous now. So what do you reckon? What 3 things? What would be your top 3 things that you've done to it that you would not be without?
Oh, look, the 4-speed transfer case has been an absolute godsend.
Yep.
Absolute godsend. I think strengthening that front end was probably one of the best things I could have done. That whole front axle, which meant I had to do a whole lot of other stuff too. But you know, to know that I can drive and not be scared of breaking things, because I do drive things that are quite interesting
today.
and so I want to be able to do it without worrying about breaking things all the time. So the whole key is to build it up strong enough so that I can do that. So that's the 2. I look, the 2 runs into a whole lot more, but ultimately I wanted it to be stronger and to have more control, and having the control. Maybe the other thing is the lockers, adding the ultimate control to it. I think if you have a car with smaller tyres but you've got lockers and you've got the control over the speed that you travel, then you do it safely, you do it controlled, and you don't damage.
Yeah, you're not ripping tracks.
I mean, you can put a lot of strain on components, but you're not damaging the tracks.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You look after the place that you like to enjoy.
Something you said then about your diffs.
Yeah, so the front G2 comes with a 35 spline front.
Yep.
And they're chromoly axles, so they're just a whole lot stronger.
Yeah.
And the reason now running chromolys as well, because I did snap that out on a track last year.
Right.
So
yeah, well that gets costly. You start replacing a few of those, and then you can spend the money on upgrading it anyway, so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, well it's stronger now.
Yeah.
So.
And with the amount of flex, like it did have some good wheel travel on it. Do you find that are you flicking your lockers on often, like with the flex, or?
It really depends on the day. Today, probably not.
No.
I didn't need to use them that much. I mean, when we just came up that part there was no need to put it on. Flex. If I can usually look at a track these days and know if I need it or not.
Yep.
If I think I'm not sure if I'm going to need it, I generally put it on because I don't want to damage the track.
Yeah, you're safer to have it on, eh?
Yeah.
So they're the 3 things that you like the most. Is there anything that you aren't as keen on, kind of like to have done differently, or is it pretty...
Oh, the thing that I hate the most is the flares. Right. I chose, and look, I don't like naming names of where I bought them, but I chose very poorly, and if you look around, all of those flares have cracks in them.
Yeah.
And so I've actually ordered some new ones to replace that.
Right, okay.
And so they were supposed to have come last week. They didn't. They should come in the next week or so. So I'll be able to change them over. But if you look around, every one of them is cracked. There's no flex in them.
There are a few love bites on the side.
Yeah, and look, the point is you get a car like this and you build it up, and you can't be afraid to use it as well. So
certainly
get out and enjoy it.
Certainly used it today, and you got some good rock sliders on the side as well. I just noticed, which they're always a bonus too, if you start running down any big rocks and ledges.
Yeah, and all underneath I've got protection as well, so I can basically sit on the bottom of the car and and not worry too much.
No, it's been a great day out here, so it was great to catch up with you again after all these years.
It's been a while.
I said we were the size of Chloe, I think, when we moved out of home and went our different ways.
Yeah.
But, it it was good to catch up with you and do some tracks, and no doubt we'll do a few more, maybe catch us on a camp one time. And
That'd be good.
And what's the Solve, just before we go?
So Solve Off-Road is Nick Finch from Solve Off-Road. He's basically the guy that's built the car.
Okay.
And he's done most of the work, I'd say, on it, in terms of making sure it's right, making sure it's great. And, you know, I like using him because I know when I get it back, he's fussier than I am, so that's a good thing.
Where's he based? What area?
He's out in Glendenning.
Okay, yep. Over near Blacktown for anyone that, or Plumpton area. No, it's been great, so thank you very much. We'll no doubt be hitting some more tracks up this way again soon, hopefully. So yeah, for anyone that does want to get out, this area around here in Newnes, there is just tracks everywhere. Like we've only touched on a few today, and we've been out here. We met at the Zigzag Railway Lines this morning at 9:30. So yeah, if you've got a 4-wheel drive and you want to do some tracks, a lot of the stuff out here are pretty much easy through to insane. So you pick your own, you can pick your own adventure and damage level. But yeah, just get out and enjoy it, folks. That's what it's all about. So thanks again for watching, and make sure you hit like and subscribe. Cheers, guys. Thanks
very much.
Cheers, buddy.